I was going to declare war on you, human, but your eyes ruined my plan. Beginning. The war councils of the Kiran Dominion were not known for hesitation. They were a species forged in the black crucibles of 1,000 dying suns, tall, armored, their flesh plated like burnished steel, their voices resonant like thunder through hollow mountains. For 2 centuries, they had swept across the Orion Spur, annexing weaker civilizations, bending empires to their banners, and silencing resistance with surgical violence. Their empress, Selenia the Ruthless, had only one obstacle left before total dominion: Earth. From a tactical perspective, Earth was laughable, small, provincial, late to the interstellar stage. Its fleets were primitive, its defenses porous, its people distracted by 1,000 competing nations and interests. Yet somehow, through stubborn resistance, Earth had become a thorn in the Dominion side. Guerrilla fighters, human hackers, and sabotage teams had disrupted Kiran expansion for decades. Selenia had grown tired of delays. So she had ordered the fleet to gather at the edge of Sol System, their engines whispering dark energy into the void, preparing for the final invasion. But before she pressed the war sigil, one last tradition had to be honored. The Dominion did not conquer without sending a herald. A single emissary would make contact with the enemy's leader, issue demands for submission, and give them a chance to kneel. No one had ever accepted. The ritual was symbolic, a gesture of contempt before the slaughter. This time, Selenia herself chose to go. She landed on Earth under the guise of a diplomat, her towering frame cloaked in black living armor, her crown like a halo of burning silver. She expected defiance. She expected fear. She expected hatred. What she did not expect was him. Middle. His name was Dr. Elias Rains. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't even the highest-ranking negotiator Earth could have sent. He was simply the one available when the Dominion envoy arrived. The Secretary-General had fallen ill that morning, and the generals were occupied in strategy bunkers beneath the Rockies. By accident, by misfortune, or perhaps by design of fate, Elias was the one ushered into the Geneva chamber where Selenia waited. He was a physicist, not a fighter. His specialty was exoplanetary atmospheres and climate modeling, skills irrelevant to war councils. His colleagues had mocked the appointment. What's he going to do, they whispered, run weather simulations for the Empress? But when Elias entered the chamber, everything shifted. Selenia towered over him, nearly 3 meters of gleaming obsidian armor, her eyes slits of molten gold. Around her, Dominion guards radiated menace, their weapons humming with restrained energy. The humans in the chamber stiffened under her gaze, many unable to look her in the face. But Elias, he looked directly at her. Their eyes met. And Selenia faltered. She had faced warlords who begged for mercy, kings who spat curses, admirals who swore vengeance. She had stared into the eyes of thousands before slaughtering them. But Elias's gaze was different. His eyes were clear, steady, not with arrogance, not with defiance, but with something disarmingly simple. Curiosity. He looked at her not as monster or goddess or executioner, but as a person. It unsettled her in ways she could not name. Human, she intoned, her voice rolling like an avalanche across the chamber. I am Selenia, Empress of the Kiran Dominion. I stand at the head of a fleet that spans 900 star systems. I am the blade that cuts empires, the fire that devours civilizations. I have come to offer you a choice: surrender your world, or perish. The words echoed. The chamber fell silent. Every human delegate stiffened, waiting for Elias to collapse, to plead, to scream. Instead, he tilted his head, studying her as if she were an equation he hadn't solved yet. You came all this way just to threaten us? He asked softly. A ripple of shock coursed through the chamber. Selenia's jaw tightened. Do you not understand what stands before you? My armies. Yes, I understand, Elias interrupted, still calm. But if you truly wanted us dead, you wouldn't be here talking to me. You're giving us a chance. That means you're not entirely certain, are you? Her guards hissed, their weapons rising, but she held up a hand. Her molten gaze narrowed. You are bold, for one so fragile. What makes you think I would hesitate? Elias met her stare. Because I see it in your eyes. The chamber froze. For the first time in decades, Selenia felt heat creep across her cheeks, something dangerously close to shame. She wanted to roar, to silence him, to crush him for daring to speak so plainly. But when she looked at him again, when their eyes locked, the fury unraveled. There was no fear in him. No hatred. Only a calm, unshakable recognition, as though he saw beyond her armor, beyond her crown, beyond the mantle of empress. He saw her. And that was more dangerous than any fleet. In the days that followed, Selenia remained on Earth. Officially, negotiations dragged on. In truth, she found excuses to remain in Elias's presence. He walked with her through human cities, explaining their architecture, their struggles, their art. He showed her paintings in the Louvre, music echoing through opera halls, children laughing in playgrounds. Everywhere she looked, she saw fragility and resilience. Everywhere she looked, she saw his eyes watching hers, quietly asking questions no enemy had ever dared. One evening, standing on the shore of Lake Geneva, Elias asked her, "Why do you conquer?" The question startled her more than any weapon could. "For survival," she answered. "The galaxy is cruel. Only the strong endure. We take to ensure our children live." Elias nodded slowly. "That's one way to survive. But have you ever tried sharing instead of taking?" She almost laughed. "Sharing is weakness." "Or strength," he countered, meeting her gaze. "Strength isn't just the power to destroy. Sometimes it's the power to stop destroying." His words lingered long after he left her that night. She replayed them in her mind like a haunting melody. The war fleet waited beyond the moon, eager for her command. Yet for the first time in centuries, she hesitated. Because of his eyes. The climax. The Dominion grew restless. Admirals demanded orders. Generals questioned her resolve. Whispers of rebellion spread through her council. "Empress," growled General Keros, kneeling before her aboard the flagship, the human stall. "They play games. They will never submit. Give the order, and we will burn their world in a single day." Selenia's hand hovered over the war sigil. One press, and Earth would be ash. But in the reflection of the sigil's glass, she saw his eyes again, steady, calm, unflinching. Not begging. Not condemning. Just seeing her. She pulled her hand back. "My empress." Keros growled. "The invasion is postponed," Selenia said firmly. "We will continue negotiations." Murmurs spread like wildfire. Some bowed in relief, others in outrage. Keros's glare burned with fury, but he did not dare disobey. That night, Selenia returned secretly to Earth. She found Elias waiting at the observatory on Mont Blanc, staring at the stars through an old telescope. "You delayed the war," he said softly. "I should not have," she admitted. "My people will see it as weakness. They may rise against me." "Then why risk it?" She turned, her golden eyes blazing. "Because of you. Because when I look at you, human, I feel something I do not understand. I was going to declare war on you. But your eyes, curse your eyes," her voice cracked. "They ruined everything." Elias smiled faintly. Or maybe they saved everything. Ending. Weeks turned into months. Negotiations shifted from demands to dialogue, from threats to treaties. Against all odds, the Dominion signed accords with Earth. Trade replaced conquest. Exchange programs flourished. For the first time in history, the Kiran Dominion expanded not through war, but through cooperation. Of course, not everyone was pleased. Factions within the Dominion whispered of betrayal. Human militaries still prepared for war, distrusting the sudden peace. But amidst the chaos, Selenia and Elias continued to meet, their conversations weaving fragile threads of understanding between two civilizations. One evening, beneath the aurora dancing over Iceland, Elias turned to her. "Do you regret it? Not destroying us?" Selenia gazed at the sky, then at him. For once, she set aside her armor, standing only as herself, not as empress. "I do not regret it. You showed me something stronger than fear. Stronger than conquest." "And what's that?" She reached out, touching his hand gently, an empress, conqueror of worlds, trembling at the simplicity of human skin. "Hope," she whispered. For the first time in her reign, Selenia smiled. The galaxy would remember her not as Selenia the ruthless, but as Selenia the changed. And it began because one human dared to look into her eyes, and refused to look away.